our program, all the residents get involved in research, and they often get involved both in clinical research, basic science, and laboratory research. So what we do as a program is we help them define that research program. So in their third year, they look for a mentor. And once they've defined that question, then we have a resident research committee that help them plan out the research program. The department also provides all the funding necessary for the research project once it's approved.
Our purpose really is just to be a resource for them, really anything that they need. There's a lot of places in the country that have a bioskills lab, like just straight cadavers. And there's a lot of big mechanical test labs that have a bunch of big machines. But there are very few places in the United States and the world really that have them both side by side. And so by having our bioskills lab literally 10 feet away from our mechanical test lab, that facilitates doing some really cool and cutting edge biomechanical research. So anytime the residents have their projects, they can come in, take the tissue, do whatever new procedure, treatment that they're doing, and literally walk 10 feet, and we can put it up on the machine and they can test that construct, and really try to provide them with opportunities to practice any of the skills that they need in a nice, safe space.
They're very much encouraged to get involved in research, and they have a lot of support all along the way, no matter what kind of a project it is, whether it's a chart review or a clinical research project or a survey. There are just a lot of different kinds of clinical research you can do, and we offer support in all of them.
Usually what happens is that a resident will have a germ of an idea. Why don't we look at this? Has anybody looked at that? I've looked at the literature. I can't find any information on this, or there isn't really anything substantial. Here's my idea.
Residents may come to me and say, I have these 100 set of x-rays and I want to know incredibly accurately what the subsidence of a particular procedure is. So we can not only answer that question, but very efficiently do that in an automated way by creating custom software.
Every resident brings in a project. Most of those projects are actually driven by actual benchtop research. When we mean benchtop, it's actual pipetting, it's actual thinking through a hypothesis-driven methodology, wherein a resident has to formulate a hypothesis, has to think about developing certain techniques, developing certain experimental protocols, accomplishing them, and at the end of the day, possibly coming up with the product.
Our mission at University of Orthopaedics, which is an academic department at Brown University, is #1, to deliver top quality clinical care, teach residents and medical students and the future practitioners, and then also to conduct research to advance the state of medicine and the state of the art. And it's only through research that we can improve patient care. Medicine's not perfect. We don't always have the perfect solution for every problem that somebody might have. So residents don't really have to go wandering the streets looking for a place to do research. We have enormous laboratory. It's open 24/7.
The lab here is tremendous. The lab was one of the biggest draws for me coming here when I was recruited 6 years ago. A lot of our residents are interested in an academic career, and certainly something that we look to encourage in them. They will go out to top fellowship programs, and whether they eventually choose private practice versus academic type careers, our goal is to lay the foundation, and so that they're able to understand both the interpretation of scientific investigations as well as to be able to perform their own.
The biggest thing that I found was the availability to the residents, people that were interested in taking part in research. It was something that was made available with multiple mentors that I think made a big difference in terms of my exposure, just because the mentors were available.
Coming into residency program, I had no experience doing research. Once I got here, it seemed to come a lot easier. There's so many opportunities available. All the senior residents were heavily involved in research. Lots of projects to kind of get your hands on, sink your teeth into early. It kind of shows you first of all, how much work actually goes into it. But the people that are around you make it so much easier that it's something that you can actually do with zero experience in the first place.
It is very exciting when things actually impact your ability to take care of patients.
They love it. And the reason they love it is I think that we don't just throw them in this empty hallway and let them hey, develop something, there's a lot of support.
I think any top-tier orthopedic program or any medical program or surgical program should have a degree of research involved, because that's how you can really expand your knowledge base. The program, the faculty, the chairman, the head of research in the Coro Lab are all very supportive, and this is why we're here. This is what we do.